All right, good. I'm live. Just want to do like a little impromptu live because today ends out the hashtag who wants to take Myra on a date. So hopefully you already know I'm Myra Cassidy, luxury travel advisor, travel journalist, and motivational speaker. And I came up with this concept because I am a survivor of domestic violence. I wanted to put on a September 2022, this year, retreat for survivors of domestic violence and supporters called Myra's Luxurious Women's Empowerment Retreat. And I came up with an idea of how I would build funds for this with the hashtag who wants to take Myra on a date, and ask for donations, participants, and sponsors, and have gotten just a wonderful response. So with today being March the 31st, and I'm closing out that portion of who wants to take Myra on a date, I had to come on here and just say thank you and just show my appreciation. So I actually wrote down some notes because I'm still going to forget some things that I want to say, and I apologize up front, but definitely want to come on here and say thank you so much for the support and the love, because my journey is a very tough one. It is not easy. It is not easy walking away from a community that I love so much, which included walking away from family members and friends and people that I've known all my life, just because I'm not being heard, just because I'm not getting what I need as far as a survivor of domestic violence, literally having to walk away. And I'll get more into that. If you've seen my YouTube page, please visit that on my website, learn my journey, and hear what I have to say. This is very hurtful and painful. And one thing I'm working to do is get certification. Before, I always spoke about my journey as a survivor of domestic violence, which I will still do, but now I'm getting more qualified, right? I'm studying it more and more. So number one, I could be up to date and current when I do this retreat in September, but also so that I can, use this information to continue to be just as helpful as possible through this journey. So it's definitely hard. And one of the things that they say is the most hardest thing to do for survivors of domestic violence is when you come from communities. Like, for example, I was raised as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, so having to walk away from that faith has been very painful, very excruciating. Just the things that I've gone through is just so hurtful. But also the fact that that's kind of when it comes to walking away from communities like that, it's very tough for survivors. It's very tough to move forward and to find community and to build. I heard of some ladies who walked away from the Amish community, same situation. So it's very tough to reestablish, and you go through so much emotionally, which is why my journey, I think, is such a powerful one. So definitely check out my book, Let Me Tell It. But let me tell you more about, I don't want to go off on a tangent and waste your time. Sorry, I'm checking my time. I'm trying to keep it short today. But anyway, long story short, I appreciate all of the love and support that I've gotten on this journey, and just wanted to say thank you so much. Like I said, I've gotten a great start on what I need to do to confirm the space that I'm trying to confirm or pivot, and I have other opportunities that have opened up to me for me to go ahead and continue to build funds. So first of all, with a couple of thank yous, I'm sorry I'm going to forget somebody. I always want to be grateful to anybody and everybody who's helped me along this journey, big and small, because I truly appreciate you. I really do. But just a couple of people: Miss Regina Warren, thank you so much, Queen, for supporting me on this journey. I've enjoyed all of our chats, online and offline. You are amazing. Tanisha Body, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Next, hey, Ashley Smith, AR Beauty, appreciate you so much. You are a phenomenal makeup artist. I'm looking forward to getting set for this date here that's going to be taking place the end of April. And I'm just going to have an amazing time with that. Tanisha Body is going to help get me together as far as my outfit is concerned, and then Miss Ashley Smith is going to do my makeup. So I appreciate them both so much. Kelvin, brother, I appreciate you. You are awesome and amazing. And Kelvin, you are just great guy. Because one thing I appreciate about Kelvin, and Kelvin would admit it himself, that his content is definitely interesting and does not reflect women in the best light. Okay, but one thing I appreciate about that man, at least he's honest about it, right? He's honest about it, you know, so I appreciate him so much. Nikki, Keisha, Janine, thank you so much for your support. Miriam and Brian, thank you so much. Synergy, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. The Recorder, the Indianapolis Recorder. Oh my goodness. Thank you it was a privilege to be in the Indianapolis Recorder to promote what I'm trying to do, a privilege to be in Scoop Magazine to promote what I'm doing. Definitely a privilege for those media outlets and all the media outlets and opportunities that will continue to come, because this is just a start for me to continue to build up the excitement until September. Thank you so much to WHMB 40. Vicki Peterson, thank you so much. Kelly Vaughn, thank you so much. Al Bracken, thank you so much. Bracken, sorry, I'm messing up your name, brother. Sorry. Thank you so much. It was so amazing being on WHMB 40, and I appreciate the support. All the participants, the donations, and the sponsors, thank you so much for your support on this. What I will say is that today's the last day for the hashtag Who Wants to Take Myra on a Date, and still I've been receiving donations, and I appreciate everyone's support. I will say that the individual who as far as the date is concerned, I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know how it was going to go. I'm just so appreciative for the support, whether it was a participant, someone who just donated, or a sponsor. I'm just grateful for everyone. But I do want to say this about the individual who I know is going to be the individual to take me on this date, because this individual donated such a big amount that I thought it was a mistake. So when I saw this come through, I reached out and said, is this a mistake? And the individual was like, no, it's not. I wanted to make sure that I won. And I thought that was just so sweet. But like I said, I appreciate all the support, the participants, donations, and sponsors. And for the individual who's going to take me on the date, he asked to remain anonymous. So I said, okay, no problem. But I'm so grateful. I was just shocked. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, this is not a mistake. So, oh my goodness. So just what I know about this individual is that this individual does also understand the horrors of domestic violence. So I felt like that was a great bonus. And he's a good looking guy too. So that's always a great thing. You know, looks don't always matter. Come on now, let's be real, but he's cute. So that's also a great thing. But just a great guy, funny. And, I'm looking forward to this opportunity, because he is a true gentleman and someone who I've seen on multiple occasions help out sisters who just needed help with, and did not ask anything in return. So, I definitely appreciate, him. And it was just really, really nice and just really, really awesome, that response to say, I put down, an amount that was so big because I wanted to make sure that I won. So that was just an awesome and amazing thing too. A couple more things that have come about from this Who Wants to Take Myra on a Date. Opportunities have opened up for me, right? Oh my goodness. Working on also forming my own nonprofit now. Also, I was invited to be a part of a project to where I can help advocate for survivors of domestic violence in a certain avenue, and give my expertise from what I've experienced on that particular project. I can't really say too much about it right now. Also, a very, very exciting part. I just can't believe it. Well, let me say that one for last. Let me tell you about May 26th. Mark your calendars for May 26th. Am I talking too much? Okay, I'm going to try to wrap it up. Mark your calendars. May 26th. May 26th. I'm doing a round table talk, and I'm going to share my experience. I'm inviting community members, and especially individuals who also work in the realm of domestic violence, to hear my journey, especially because the title of it is going to be called Listen to Victims and Act. That is such a big part of my journey, and I want to be able You know, like I said, walking away from being one of Jehovah's Witnesses, disclosure, I never talk bad about the faith. I'm just sharing my personal experience with domestic violence, because things should not have went down the way they went down. I should not have had to plead with over a dozen elders over the years about what was happening to me. And I'm going to share specifically those experiences on May 26th. So I'm literally going to talk about one big one that, you know, I'm still healing from all of this. And it's sad how it has affected me spiritually. That's a big thing for me too, because I love my word. I love my Bible, but the trauma that I've experienced is so severe that I can only read like a little portions of my Bible here and there. If I want to break out and read a whole chapter, I can't even do it because of the trauma and the anxiety that I've experienced through my journey. And that's so horrible to go through that. And I wonder you know, I'm a spiritual woman. So, you know, you look forward to that spiritual direction. So when you go through trauma like this, it's very hard to deal with. But I'm going to talk about a couple of things. Listen and act. I'm going to share specific examples of things that happen. I'm going to talk about the rules of confidentiality within the confines of Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm going to share what happened when I told these men when I was pregnant that he dragged me down the steps and jumped on top of me. Why was there no punishment given for that? And of course, they're not the police, but when it comes to that faith of Jehovah's Witnesses, when domestic violence is involved, there's supposed to be an investigation about what happens, and a person could be disfellowshipped. My ex was never disfellowshipped. He was never disfellowshipped. Any discipline that he received wasn't even real. I think when I recall, this is when I was pregnant with my child, and even after I was even in a shelter while I was pregnant. And the discipline he received was that he couldn't help out the day of the memorial, which is Jesus's Passover. I remember us going out to eat. He was just sad that he couldn't help out for the memorial like all the other men do. And it's like, don't you understand why? You're not getting enough consequences for your actions to the point where you're looking at it as being, my wife is just a problem. You're the problem. You keep getting me in trouble. You keep getting me in trouble. So I'm going to talk about those experiences that I've had over time and what has happened. Read my book, Let Me Tell It. Even when Child Protective Services got involved, it's just crazy. You know, how in the world could Child Protective Services get involved and tell me that I have to leave my home? And then you go to the brothers and there's no punishment for what happens. But what took place was so severe that they filed a complaint against the police department for not even arresting him. So when you're going through this, that's trauma. You know, I've dealt with trauma from being abused, and I've dealt with trauma from not being heard, from men who are supposed to grease my head with oil, and the pain of that, you know, even the pain of my own father not getting involved. That's painful. It's very, very painful and hurtful. And you wonder, how in the world, God, can I go through this? And the whole thing about it is talking about the fact of the matter is when my ex at the very, very end was willing to change, he couldn't even really change because he didn't have the tools to do so. There was no mentorship. And one thing about it that irritates me is, you know, the brothers would come and ask him, I feel, if you're doing A, B, C, and D. They didn't come and ask me if he was really doing A, B, C, and D. And I can speak on that because, you know, a couple of months ago, I think it was back maybe, I don't know, in October or November or something. I don't know when I posted it. I had posted something on my Facebook page, and it got back around to me that he was asked if he really did that. And I'm like, well, why didn't they just call me and ask me? I would have really told them what happened and what did not happen. So and that's a big part of it too, when you're a victim of violence as a female, not being heard. I'm left feeling degraded. I'm left feeling spit up on. I'm left feeling so hurt. And feeling like even when he tried to make a change, he couldn't, and he wouldn't listen. I'm telling you, you have to go to a batterers prevention course. That's what you need to do if you are trying to attempt to make any change, because they specifically know how to deal with this type of thing. So it's just so many things that happen. And even in that point, as a female, you know, I'm still hurt from 2012. That's when that CPS situation happened. Throughout my journey, I have not had a confidant. I've had sisters to offer support, but sadly, the sisters that offer support, they were victims of violence themselves. So a lot of the things I was getting was from a distorted lens. So long story short, not having a confidant or someone that really stayed on top of things and would come back and say, okay, is progress being made? Is progress being made? Is progress being made? And although you have to ask the husband if they can talk to the wife, why not ask or talk to us together and say, is progress being made? Is progress being made? Is progress being made? So those things that I'm going to talk about May 26th, a round table. I'm going to come out with more information about that. It is called Listen to Victims and Act, because in no way, shape, or form should this really have happened. Last, and I feel like I'm running my mouth. Let me get up off of here. Last but not least, I have the go on my book, Let Mia Tell It, becoming a play. A play. Coming soon. Let Mia Tell It will be a play. This is another way for me to raise funds for the retreat that I'm trying to do. I'm very, very excited about it. I get to play myself, Mia, but it's also a problem with that. The play is musical. I can't sing. At least I can't sing, not like that. So I also need to find a vocal coach. So if you're out there and you are a vocal coach, please reach out to me, because I need to start getting prepared for the play, Let Me Tell It. I'm very, very excited about that opportunity as well. So I think I got it in, what I need to do, and what I want to say. Thank you so much to everyone who has participated. I'm trying not to run my mouth too much, but once again, I just want to say thank you so, so much to everyone who has, when individuals really got to learn and listen to my journey and my struggle, I feel like people got it and they understood. And I appreciate the support so, so much, because this is definitely not an easy journey. It is painful. It is excruciating pain sometimes that you feel. And all you can do is pray and keep going and, work on building your community, and then wait and see what God says about everything. Clearly there's no testimony without the test. So, once again, thank you so much for your support to everyone, big and small. I know I missed calling some people's names. I apologize, but just please, 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 please know I'm so grateful to everyone, big and small, for all the support and the love. Okay. Thank you so, so much. Have a good one.